Conway Walsh.
Taoiseach, I wholeheartedly welcome the fact that your government have finally agreed to address the situation where gas sets the overall electricity prices, including the renewable electricity. Capping renewables at the €120 for a megawatt per hour is welcome. But when we look at the fact that the average wholesale price of electricity in August was €388, I know it's gone down to €137 per megawatt hour for October, but we see how artificially high the prices have been for such a long time. And the question is, why have people not seen the reduction reflected in their bills? I first raised the need for this action last November when households and businesses were facing into a winter where energy prices were very high. So I'm glad that the EU has seen reason. I'm glad that the government has seen reason, but it should never have taken this long. Can you confirm when the measure will come into effect, and can you commit to keeping the measure in place for as long as the gas prices remains high? The capping of the price of non-gas electricity is a step in the right direction, which huge profits have already been made this year. Will you also bring the windfall tax on the excess profits of electricity companies in for the profits that they've made in 2022?
First of all, in terms of Deputy Rose Conway Walsh, the solidarity tax, the government took a decision in relation to that today, which applies domestically here, particularly in respect of the Corrib field, designed really to make sure there are no windfall profits arising out of the increased prices that have occurred. I think the government is taking the right overall policy in respect to the cost of living package, that we didn't go for, I know your party proposed a cap on pre-21 levels, but we saw what happened in the United Kingdom fiscally and from a market point of view when that proposal was implemented by the UK government. It had fairly devastating consequences for the UK economy, and that's why the government didn't go down that route in respect of the measures that we took. And in terms of the wider windfall, then that will come later, as well as part of the European measures. And the broader European measures will fall due to be completed, but it's very, very complex in terms of the EU energy market, and we import most of our gas from UK, and Norway supplies in there. So it's not a uniform gas market, but we do welcome the decisions taken to try and decouple gas from the electricity price increases. Deputy Haughey Sean Haughey raised the issue in terms of climate justice and COP27 generally. I think one of the key takeaways from COP has been the fact that climate change is here now in terms of the worldwide devastation. The presentation of the Prime Minister from Pakistan at two events that I was at, 1/3 of all crops or arable land destroyed by the floods. Huge disease coming from stagnant water across Pakistan. Hundreds of thousands of pregnant women without homes and without shelter, just over 600,000. Huge economic damage, about 30 billion in terms of damage and reconstruction. You look at Somalia's presentation, Sri Lanka's presentation, all the small states, the small island states of the Pacific facing real danger. So if there's some lessons for this country, I think we have to do more on adaptation, and we have to do more not just in terms of getting emissions down, but we have to prepare around coastal erosion, and we have to prepare a whole range of measures to deal with damage.
We're out of time, I'm afraid.
And in terms of Deputy Boyd Barrett, look, no one has done more than, I think, the EU and Ireland in terms of supporting Palestine, UNRWA, and a whole range of humanitarian supports. That has to be said. That rarely gets said. I've dealt with the triple lock already. It's not in the programme for government to remove the triple lock. I don't believe in removing the triple lock. I do believe we should have a citizens' assembly to discuss all of these issues in a more informed way. I said that already. I understand the rationale put forward by Minister Coveney in the light of the Russian invasion and Russia's behaviour, that Russia is such a significant member of the Security Council is now a problem, and that the likes of Russia can veto any proposal at the Security Council, such as the one that Ireland put forward in terms of climate and security, was very retrograde in my view. And there is a problem there.
Thank you.
And we can't be putting our heads in the sand. And Deputy Durkin, I think I've dealt with some of the issues. There is a cohesive approach to Ukraine from Europe, and on COP, I think we would like it to be better and stronger, but COP is the only game in town, so to speak, and it brings the leaders together, and we need to keep that momentum going. And finally, Deputy Barry, Ireland is not a member of NATO. We're not a member of a military alliance. That is the definition of our military neutrality, which has been consistent and remains the position.
Thank you.